Okay.
Hey, we're live.
Oh, okay. Good. Oh, why do I only have... Oh, I forgot to reorganize my paradigms. But yeah.
You need to tidy up, man.
What was it? Oh yeah, I wanted to mention real quick. I tell you what I absolutely fucking hate is, Rocket League. It just updates every 10 seconds.
Uh-huh.
I'll be honest, I kinda regret buying that game now, because it's so fucking annoying.
Well, don't be too upset because they are advertising a real-life Rocket League,
Are they?
and it's literally just RC cars hitting a ball around. Like, they have no special moves or anything like that. They can't fly, they can't, like, boost, or they can't, like, defy gravity by, like, going up, like, around the dome of the arena. They're just little RC cars that, like, bounce this little ball around, and that's it. And then everybody is like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm like, literally, this is
That's the dumbest shit.
what people have done for, like, ever.
This is, that sounds kind of like, the whole, like, Harry Potter, how people try to do, like, Harry Potter, what's it called? Quidditch? Yeah, Quidditch in real life. I'm just like, what the fuck are these people smoking?
Yeah, it's like they're like on hobby horses, like when you're a little kid and you're like on that like broomstick horse.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You're just like bouncing around. It's like, look at me, I'm flying, Mom. Uh-huh. And the only spell you know is stupefy.
Really? I don't even know how that shit works. Is it like LARPing? Is that like where you, like, if you say a spell and like you hit them with it, then they have to do it?
I have no fucking clue how that would work. Also, too, somebody like brought up a very, very valid point that, you know, you've only seen, at least in the movies, Harry Potter use Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus.
Yeah.
Like the disarming spell, and that's all he says. Like, that's all he knows.
In every movie, that's... No, he also does the...
Avada Kedavra, or... See, it's been so long.
Kamehameha.
I almost said Kamehameha. No, I almost said cadaver, and I'm like, that's not the right... No. I mean,
he does the one that gets rid of the Dementors.
Oh, the Expecto Patronum.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I don't know if he does any other...
Like, all he knows is, like, Expecto Patronum, Cruciatus, and, like, the disarming spell. And I'm like, you can't fucking use just those three things on, like, who's supposed to be the most powerful wizard.
Yeah, it's like, that's something that kind of bothered me about Harry Potter, is like, I don't...
Like, if anything, Hermione would have been the one to defeat the Voldemort, because she, like, knows more spells, I would assume, because of her, like, knowledge tendencies.
That's just, like, a quick, if I can go slightly on a little tangent, that's something I really like about One Piece, at least so far, it seems, at least for the most part. The thing I like about it, like, particularly... Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about any of them, really, but since the whole world kind of runs on the same function, you know, like, anybody can eat a devil fruit and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
What I like about it is, like, other characters, like, you don't have to eat a devil fruit to, like, stand a chance, you know? Like, so characters like Zoro and Usopp and Nami and people like that, you know? Like, they're incredibly powerful, but, like, they're just normal humans. I love stories like that, where it's just, like, the main characters are, in all, like, for all intents and purposes, they're just normal humans, like you and me, and it's like, this is the kind of shit that, you know, humanity can achieve without any extra shit.
It's just like a thing where it's like, and the only difference is my hair's brown.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
that
not
too.
even that big of a. Well, no, like I'm saying, like the devil fruit usage is kind of like saying that. It seems like everybody, no matter if they've had a devil fruit or not, are kind of like on the same. They are capable of being on the same fighting level, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, who are these guys?
These are well, they're called frag leeches, but they're
They look like that one Pokemon. No, now that I see them close up, it's disregard what I was attempting to say.
well, I think we've been. How long have we been live? Like a few minutes now.
Sure.
Yeah. So, just in case anybody cares for an introduction. Hey, everybody, we're back.
Hello.
Nice to see everybody again, even though I can't look at the chat because I'm afraid of tabbing out.
No.
But at least you can
That's
look at the
fine.
chat. But yeah, these, I can see what you mean by they kind of remind you of Pokemon.
There's that one that's a fire Pokemon that kind of looks like a mole, but with like fire spikes.
I assume it's from the one that you've actually played.
No, not from the one that I've actually played.
Oh, okay. Well, because the first thing that
Like
came to
the
mind.
newer one.
Oh, a newer one.
Yeah, a newer one.
As in, like, last 10 years?
Sure, I don't know about that though.
Go chasing after enemies.
He
Okay.
looks like a little mole. He's like got a beige underbelly
Okay.
and a little bit beige on his face. But then the top of him is black. But then he's got like these fiery spikes coming out of his back too.
It sounds kind of. That sounds kind of like. Well, I mean, I don't know all the Pokemon, obviously, but what you're describing kind of sounds like Quilava, which is actually from. He's from Gen 2. That's the
Is
one.
he? Is he one? I know. I think he's one of the starter Pokemon.
Okay, so all the fire starters would be. What's it called?
Be ready for
Like-
the next fight.
There's-
Quill something? Is he a Quill?
Yeah,
something?
so the one from Gen 2, which is the one that you and I played, that's, which came out in 99, I think.
Right behind
That line of starters is called Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the starter from, Gen 2.
Time to move.
Yeah. And that's a fun game. But yeah, that would be Cyndaquil, yeah.
Cyndaquil.
Which evolves into Quilava and then to Typhlosion.
Stay focused on moving
Gotcha.
forward.
Well, from afar, those guys kind of look like Cyndaquil, but then up close, they kind of look like a love child between a slug and Cyndaquil.
Yeah. I kind of like those enemies because if they see you, like if they see you and they start to like go try to attack you, if you're running straight at them, they'll jump over you, which I think is
Oh.
hilarious.
Anyway,
But yeah, we're back again. Actually, turns out Pez is like 2 chapters ahead of us now, I think.
oh yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
he finished this one on Monday, I think. Yeah, and then he finished the what's it called? The big area that everybody not the big area, but like the Sunleth Waterscape. That's what it's called. Yeah, so that's chapter. What chapter are we on? We're on chapter 5, and then
Yeah.
he finished chapter 6 yesterday. So yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Not that it really matters to us anyway, because you know we're not going to be beating the game anyway. So
Because that's for losers. No, just kidding. That's for suckers who paid for the game. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is kind of a long game
it is, yeah.
to go for. You really have to commit ahead of time.
Yeah. And like also the fact that the story requires so much concentration on top of that.
Right, yeah.
Like, in terms of... I mean, you could probably say the same thing about most RPGs and Final Fantasy in particular, but I feel like I feel like this game, above the rest, requires, like, pretty sincere, like, serious focus compared to a lot of other games.
I mean, unless you're me. But...
Well, I mean, obviously, if you don't really care about, or I guess if you don't actually play games.
That I would be, you know, making a quip here and there every time I go through someplace.
Oh, okay.
Not that I wouldn't care, it's just I wouldn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Stay down.
Way to go.
And those kitties. Those kitties are packing.
Yeah. So I think they remind me. I was thinking about what animal they remind me the most of. I think they remind me the most of pumas.
Yeah, I can see that.
Bioweapons research.
Puma.
Lots of angry teeth and claws.
Yeah. So this place, on top of being much more colorful than the previous area, this place is, in terms of like the story, this is a sort of bioweapons research facility. Oh, I should probably scan this in. So there's some, you know, I guess mildly tough enemies, but yeah, it turns out when I was talking before about like you know, enemies that are like semi mechanical. Yeah, apparently the proper term for those is bioweapons. So they're like experiments basically.
Those poor aminals.
Yeah. But I guess I still don't know. Maybe there might be an answer in like the Ultimania or maybe in the data log, I guess. But I don't know if they're like completely manufactured or if they're actually, they start out as like part animal, like an actual living thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I was about to say, don't get me riled up. Take out my animal activist gloves and,
yeah,
you know. But we were just talking about Pokemon, and that's like all about
it's all
exploitation.
It's Pokemon. In essence, Pokemon is really just a game about cockfighting.
It is, or dog fighting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Didn't you say that like there was this really messed up version of Pokemon that PETA made or something?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, there was it's called Pokemon Black and Blue, which is a clever name, I'll admit. But yeah, the whole
they're black and blue.
Yeah, the whole point of the game was like to sort of just shit all over the IP in general.
But like, did they make it? Like,
yeah, they made it themselves. I mean, obviously, alternatively, they might have hired like a ROM hacker or like a because clearly the assets are like based off of Gen 3 or probably no Gen 4, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah. But yes, more importantly than that, they wasted time and or money and or other resources to make this fucking attention whore game to just talk shit about a children's video game. Like honestly, in terms of everything like this in the media, I don't see why they haven't gone after, or not like PETA specifically, honestly, because they're, I mean, obviously because they're all about animals and stuff, but like, when you think about it, like, you know, stuff like children's fairy tales and stuff like that, that's weird shit. Like the fucking Little Red Riding Hood. I mean, disregarding the original story, which was, you know, either written or collected by the Grimm brothers, which was then stolen by Disney, which is an entire another like issue by itself. other than that, you know,
No,
it's like
I don't know if Little Red Riding Hood was a Grimm's fairy tale.
it's well,
Stay
yeah. I
think
guess
it
I don't
was
know if
just
it is, but it definitely seems like
different.
one, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. This guy's gonna get a preemptive strike on you if you're not careful.
Well, that's what. So basically, a good way to strategize is to run into their zone, I guess you could call it.
And have them, like, chase after.
Have
Oh
them
man,
yeah.
you just, like, went up his asshole there. You were just like, I'm gonna check you for lumps. And. Yep. Snap that glove.
Yeah.
Bend over and cough, please.
Yeah. But yeah,
anyway,
one of the
as
best
far-
ways. Oh, what were you saying? Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, like, yeah, I mean, like, there's some things about PETA that are just, like, really just not tasteful at all. Like,
Yeah.
they exploit women a lot.
Oh, do they? I didn't know about
for-
the thing that I knew
for
about
that,
them,
for
like
their,
just
like, campaigns and stuff.
Yeah, I never heard about that. Do you know more specifically what they do?
Yeah, so they're like, in order to more realize the exploitation of, say, livestock for food
Yeah.
type of thing, what they would do is, like, they would get PETA members who were women, but who were also, like, very attractive, and have them, like, act like they were the animal and, like, pose like that for like a photo or for, like, a video or anything like that. So, like, something getting tied up and, like, about to be slaughtered and stuff like that. They
Oh,
would
you know, I
use-
think I saw that actually. Like,
They
this
would-
was like maybe 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, or I don't know. No, this was they've been doing it for a long time though.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember seeing that about 3 or
But,
4 years ago. Yeah.
Like, you know, they would be really attractive women, and they would be naked, or almost very much naked.
Yeah, wasn't there? I think I remember one specific one where it's like a lady who's like on a plate. You know how like when
Yeah.
some people serve like pig, they put like an
Pig
apple
with
in
an
its
apple.
mouth. Yeah,
Mhm,
I remember that picture. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
So
That's
shit like that, but not even that, but even live stuff,
yeah.
like live advocacy, I think, something like that. Like when they're just like out on the streets and they have a table set up and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like they would have PETA members who were women, who were very attractive by social standards,
Yeah.
and you know, in order to, like, say, like, hey, going vegan will make you look really good, like, all they would give them is, like, leaves of lettuce to cover their, like, boobages and their crotchetory area.
Yeah.
And
I've never heard it said like that in boobages.
and like that, like, then these ladies would be giving out pamphlets and talking to people about animal rights and stuff like that, talking about PETA. And it's like, okay, well, if like, I know of someone who was a very active member of PETA, and then she was like, yeah, this is an old picture of me when I was in PETA before I learned about women's studies. I was, oh god, they really, like, abuse, like the, I don't know, the social connotations of her, like, the female body and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, what? Are you joking? Oh my goodness. But not only that, but, like, me as, like, as an animal lover, like, and doing everything I can to be mindful of that, like what I eat and what I wear, what I buy. I don't like PETA still. Like,
Yeah.
but not only that, but, like, they have problems too. Like, they have really strange logic when it comes to certain animals, like, they think, like, we shouldn't have pets because we're exploiting them.
Yeah.
To be like part of the family essentially, and then there's like a huge, at least in the States, there's a huge problem with like really baby kittens that don't have a mom, and like there's no foster homes for them, and so like a lot of places euthanize them because they just don't have the resources for that.
Yeah.
Which is like, as sad as it is, it's understandable. Like, they just don't have, they don't want to do it, but they have to do it because they are limited on space and they only have so much funding. But like, PETA is all about like, yeah, let's terminate these kittens.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that like their euthanasia rate is like above 75% and sometimes like above 90%.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, like, so that's just me, but like, because of those like few things, well, I don't want to say few things because I don't think it's a matter of number, it's a matter of what weight these issues, like internal issues are, like,
yeah,
to me is. So then I'm just like, well, you know what? As much as I like kind of like the original message of you guys, you know, you're kind of going ham about it in a wrong way.
You're kind of fucking insane.
Yeah, you're kind of psycho. So, yeah. And it's like, I like the idea of where it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like, say, like if you want to like use a religion for it, it's like, I kind of like the idea of like this community thing, but then when you get to like Scientology, you done fucked up somewhat.
Yeah.
You know, you're going ham in the wrong ways. So
yeah, it's like they clearly have what it takes to do a lot of good stuff. And
right.
maybe at first they were trying to do that, but at this point I feel like it's kind of like those cancer associations that just fucking use their money to stomp out other cancer donation associations.
Or yeah, for like not research purposes. Yeah.
Yeah, like the only reason they do it is just because fucking you know, they want to keep up their appearance and increase the, you know, donation amount.
Because fucking capitalism. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oy vey. Well, we got greetings from Mexico. Hello.
Oh, nice. Hola, amigos.
I would say converse with you in Spanish, but
I don't know how.
Although we were born into a 100% Hispanic household, we are not taught the beautiful language because we were of that period of time where parents didn't really know that being bilingual was much easier to do the younger you were.
Yeah.
And also, too, they came from a time period, like, when they moved to, like, the mainland, they were kind of like, it's not cool, apparently, to talk in Spanish, so... Yeah, they kind of, like, downplayed that, but... Yeah, it's kind of sad, because, like, I don't know, can we call ourselves Hispanic now?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, but we don't know the language.
Oh, well, you don't need to know the language. Like, you can be Chinese even if you don't know the language, you know. Or even if you know, just don't have anything to do with it culturally, you know.
Well, like, I don't know. I'd much rather say, like, you know, rather than American or something like that. I'd much rather say I'm Hispanic, but...
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, well, to be fair, nobody's ever asked me, like, what's my...
What are you?
Yeah. Nobody's ever asked me that before, really, so I've never had to answer it, so I've never really put much thought into how I would answer if somebody were to ask me that.
Sure.
But I guess I would say I'm, like, Hispanic American, I suppose. I guess that's how I would answer.
How about this, Light?
Except that technically Puerto Rico is American, so...
Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah. Well, that's another thing. It's kind of like how some people, like if somebody, how some Jewish people answer the question, "What's your nationality?" and they say Jewish, even though it's not a nationality, it's a religion. It's kind of like that. People don't understand that, like.
I think because like the history of that.
Well, if you wanted to say you were
have
from,
been, like,
you were descended from the group of those, you know, those nomadic, unfortunately nomadic people, you know, who were, you know.
Then you just say
Hebrew.
I'm
Like
from,
that's
like we're all African.
That's yeah. I guess let's just all answer that.
African.
We're all African. If somebody asks you, it doesn't matter where you are or what color your skin is. If somebody asks you where you're from, just say Africa, or what your, you know, nationality or not national, your ethnicity is.
Stay on guard.
Oh my god. Did I tell you that story about that one teacher that was like, Rivera, that's a Hispanic name, right? You don't look Hispanic. I was like,
Nice.
Yeah, that's me. I'm 100%. He's like, don't take this the wrong way, but you look European. I'm like, boy, what the fuck? Where is Spain, you motherfucker? And you're a geography teacher? Like, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can't just
Oh,
rush
also,
into this.
I'm sorry, I just doxed us, so oops.
Did you? Well, how? Oh, by saying that we're American.
No, by saying our last name.
Oh no, it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, that's sort of like the what's it called? That was
so,
like a very old idea that very quickly died out in like the past 20 years.
Well, in any case, like, this guy was like, yeah, you look European. I'm like, well, I had no idea what to say because, like, honestly, like, if you start with "don't take this the wrong way," what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's like
I'm not racist, but.
yeah, it's just like that, isn't it?
And so I said, well, you know, Hispanics are like they are non-discriminate as to who they like, so we're everywhere. We're all around the globe. But what I should have said, I was like, oh, what's your last name? Oh, okay. So you're African. But he clearly doesn't look it, but technically, if we're going to use evolution for our argument here,
We should try something else.
everybody is, so deal with that. But, yeah, oh my gosh, I was just, oof.
Yeah.
Oof, I can't believe. But, like, the thing is, too, is that, like, I mean, even other Hispanics can't really tell that I'm Hispanic. They just think that my last name is my married name, but it's,
Oh really?
it's my name. Yeah, because they're like,
I've never heard that. That's fucking stupid. Well,
but they're just like,
but the thing is, Colby doesn't look like he's Hispanic at all.
no,
Gotta
he
be
does not.
stronger.
He is white ass white bread.
So no, like the thing is, by making the assumption that it's your married name, they're not making any better of an like it's literally equivalent.
Well,
like,
I mean, look. The thing is that when they assume that, they don't. It's usually when he's not around,
oh, okay.
and I'm by myself, and then they're like, "Oh, X name, Latinx name.
Yeah.
Oh, is your husband from Puerto Rico? Pfft, no, that's my name, bitch." Like, do people still change their name? Like,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, okay." But like, you know, like other Hispanic people, they're like, some of them have like, I don't know. I want to say like some of them are like they have this sort of extra friendliness
Yeah.
toward other Hispanic people, but then like to white people, they're like a little bit more
A lot of
straight-laced.
feral creatures here.
I mean, there's like a handful of people that are like that in the Hispanic community. It's like, okay, now I need to talk to the white person, and
Yeah.
let me be a little bit more clear in my approach. But like, I've definitely had that happen where like they approach me like as if I'm just some pumpkin spice toting basic bitch white girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I swear I'm one of you,
I'm
but
one of you.
I don't know the language, so I don't know how to prove to you. Like, so that's another,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, if
that's
it's any-
another like burden on my heart that for
Yeah.
not knowing the language.
Well, if it's any consolation, you don't need to prove it to anybody. Like even other people of your
That's true.
uh,
Should not
your
give
ethnicity.
fuck.
Take care of our homes.
Yeah.
They
And
shut
then,
power down.
you know, on top of that, if people are gonna be like that, then you don't. Who gives a damn if you actually are, you know,
No holding
one of
back.
them anyway? You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be one of them if they're just gonna be so
How about
immediately
how
judgmental.
about give people the benefit of the doubt and approach them
Yeah.
in a positive light?
Even more than that, it's like who puts the brain power into analyzing somebody's ethnicity so that you can treat them differently? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that I
No,
think about at all. You know?
Sometimes that's just hardwired. Like, it is taught so early on that it is hardwired into you.
Yeah, I guess some people are brought up like that.
Because it's taught.
Yeah.
It's definitely a taught thing. Not taught as in it is very tight, but it is teach in the past tense.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello from Mexico. We love you.
Yeah, so we got more, what are these things called? Silver Lobo. Oh, there we go, that's a Spanish word.
Lobo. Oh my. I don't
And
know.
actually,
'cause, like,
these
they
ones
look-
compared to the other ones, these ones remind me more of like wolves compared to
I
the
guess
other
so.
ones. Even though they're really,
I
like,
don't
their
know.
base design is exactly the same, I think.
Would this work
Yeah,
better,
it look like they look a little too feline for my taste.
Yeah.
I guess they're just more bulky, too. Like,
Yeah.
I guess that's the like cat like would be more svelte, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh man, there's a really cool version of this enemy later on in the game. They have like... It's kind of hard to describe, but they basically have like elbow blades. And it just looks
Oh.
really cool.
Interesting. Got another commenter. Hi, Lion.
Hey.
He says that he's finished a bunch of Final Fantasies.
Oh, nice.
That's a lot, man. And
Oh,
he
did he-
says,
did he just
whatever
list
you
them?
do in this game, just get hope HP up from this point. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Lion. We've been through this game a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, Hope has the lowest HP out of all the
Yeah.
characters.
He's a whiny bitch.
But he is a really good healer, so it's not really a big issue. He's actually the best healer in the game.
I'm not sure if this guy is implying that he's like finished recording those games or like just playing those games.
Probably just playing.
But if you recorded it, that means that you probably played them 3 more times than you've recorded.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess that's true. Yeah.
So, cool. Good for you.
Oh, anyway, something else that we could talk about regarding the characters is like their personalities
Oh.
and like
me.
what people think of them. So like obviously Hope, for example, sort of, I guess you could say, takes the or gives the impression that he's whiny.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like a lot of people who complain about that specifically, or like they say, I don't like this character because of this quality. For example, we could probably go through every character and talk about that. The only character that I don't see people complain about is Saz. I guess they just.
Because if you complain about him, then it's racist.
Well, not. I mean, not. I wouldn't make the assumption, but like, I think in terms of everything, I'd say from the very start, Saz is the most relatable character, or like the most easy to understand, because his struggle and the way he acts as well is very. It's. How would you say? He doesn't like. I guess what I mean is he acts kind of like how most people would act, in terms. I mean, not everybody, obviously, because like me personally, I found Lightning to be the single most relatable character in the game. I guess another way to put it is that Saz, it's really easy to empathize with Saz compared to the rest of them.
Sure.
Because like he's a widow who lost his son, and then he was turned into essentially a slave.
Chocobo nanny.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. But he was basically turned into a slave with a timer, right? And that's just another quick tangent before I continue talking about the characters. If you think about it, this game is really. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to this game and a lot of like themes and all that.
Yeah.
And
A lot of like tough to swallow subjects.
Yeah, and that's kind of true of a lot of Final Fantasy, especially the more recent ones where they've been. Well, I guess you could say like the ESRB, among other organizations, has really, sort of loosened their grip on in terms of like what they want game companies to make,
Extrapolate, please.
Well, what I mean is, like, thanks to games like GTA in the West or Yakuza in the East, so basically the thing is, like, with Yakuza, for example, I don't know too much about GTA, so I don't really know the specifics of what they had to do to get their games out, but, like, with Yakuza, so just in short summary, GTA was sort of the game that pushed for adult-focused or adult-aimed games or gaming, which is, a great idea for, like, tons of different reasons, obviously, but, like, the new enemy here, okay.
Use your words. They are great.
So Yakuza was like the first, much like GTA in the West, Yakuza was the first game in the East to be like unafraid of exploring really, dark themes, but also, violent themes, and also just like content that's generally aimed at adults rather than
Younger audience.
yeah, rather than kids, obviously.
Come on, Light.
I've got your back.
Yeah, so because of that, which was in like 2008, relatively, no, sorry, 2006, just in general. Now it takes more for a game to be considered like rated A or something like that. So like the types of games that were, would have been rated A in the past are now rated M. So games
yeah,
like,
okay.
you know, GTA or Yakuza, you know, stuff like that. But they helped, you know, they helped push this limit so that now, essentially, what it was. The best part of this was that, you know, now artists can kind of just do whatever they want, which is, you know, obviously the best. So yeah, and then in terms like this game, with all of the horrible shit that it, you know, covers thematically, it's still only rated T. So. Yeah.
I'm just gonna give another little shout out to another person in chat. Dex Monicus.
Oh, Dex. Yeah, we've been friends for a while.
Ooh.
Hey, Dex.
You really liked the behemoth battle there.
Yeah. Wait, you did or Dex did?
Dex.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Look at all those little fuckers there.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. If these were all fleas, it'd be my worst nightmare.
Yeah. That's something about bugs, I guess. Like, I don't have a... If these things existed in real life, I don't think I would be as bothered because, like, you know, compared to, like, little fleas or whatever, you can hit these, like, with a weapon.
Okay, but let me tell you, like, IRL in Germany, the slugs are almost that big.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, I may
But,
be
like, how often do
exaggerating.
slugs, you know, show themselves?
Whenever it rains.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So these slugs are kind of like, I guess, they're like, they're pretty big. They can get up to be, like, almost the size of my hand. Like, the length of my hand. Also, I'm a smallish person, so I guess it was not that big. Okay, like, okay, the length of your, like, iPhone 6 case.
Yeah.
Like, they can be that long. And they are just these chunky fuckers. They're like, ooh, gross. They're really gross. And they eat, like, it's hard to garden here, too, because they just, like...
They eat everything?
They eat everything, and they're so big that, you know, any nice deterrent that doesn't, like, hurt them or kill them is, like, nothing for them. They're just like, oh, I'm so big, I'm just gonna roll right over it, and I'm not gonna feel a thing because of all my rolls.
Well...
But yeah, they're really ginormous. Texas boasts having very big things like spiders and snakes, but they don't have slugs like that. I'll tell you. I tell you what, they don't have slugs like that.
Yeah. Well, after our little voyage into the
I've gotta be stronger.
slug territory, going back to the characters, before I forget whatever I was gonna say about them. Yeah, so the thing is, I see a lot of people complain about the characters in this game, but it's, especially when people start complaining about the characters, it's really easy to tell who hasn't either actually played or finished the game. Or, like, played any... Not even necessarily finished, just, like, played past, like, chapter 5, 6, 7, you know? So that's something we could talk about, like, the things people complain about. And we could start with the characters. So a lot of people say, like, oh, I hate Hope because he's whiny, or I hate Lightning because she's a bitch, or I hate Snow because he's arrogant, or I hate Vanille because she's ditzy. Who else? I hate Fang because she's boring or stoic.
Nothing I can't handle.
How old is Hope supposed to be?
He's 14.
Okay. Name a 14-year-old that wasn't a whiny bitch.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's like name a 14-year-old who's had to watch his mother die, like literally in front of him. you know, and also get dragged into a war zone unwillingly, and then also become a slave, you know, a slave with weird magic powers that is shown, you know.
Yeah.
So
'Cause you
yeah,
know those feels.
yeah. But it's like, you know, regarding, you don't even need to see how he develops, which, by the way, he has the best character development out of everybody in this game. Like, it's really good. It's like really satisfying to see how he develops as a character.
Yeah, the most happens
Yeah.
with him.
So yeah, and I feel like a lot of people who complain about the characters, haven't finished the game or sometimes even played it, because they'll say things like, well, a complaint that I see a lot is that the characters are one-dimensional, and you know, if you see somebody say that, they definitely haven't played this game, at least not past like chapter 5 at the very least, because the characters are anything. As a matter of fact, I think these are the best written character. I've said this before, but I think that the characters in this game are the most realistically written out of any characters I've seen in any video game. And on top of that, we also have the nice bonus, which I consider really nice, in that a lot of the characters have, in the series, not just this game, a lot of characters have some sort of mental condition. And so you get to explore how it affects them and their relationships. And it does, in my opinion, it does a fantastic job of that.
That's how it's done.
As somebody, you know, who has experience with that sort of thing. So, yeah, so a lot of people who, just before I talk more about the mental illness stuff that they explore in this game, a lot of the people who complain about this, or not about this, but about the characters and their personalities, or quote-unquote lack thereof, in their opinion, have not given the game a chance, or given the characters a chance. Because, you know, it's wonderful to see how, you know, all of the characters... One thing I really like about this story is how, and the characters in particular, is not only their development, but their relationship development as well.
Okay.
So at the start...
interpersonal skills.
Yeah, exactly. So at the start of the game, every character has a reason to hate each other. And they do, pretty much. With, like, maybe a couple of exceptions. Yeah, every character starts out, you know, with some degree of, like, serious anger. Like, not only at themselves or their situation, but also to each other. And so by the end of the game, obviously, they all end up, like, really good teammates and comrades, and they work together really well, and they support each other, and, like, that's really satisfying to see.
Time to switch it up.
In my opinion. Like, it's... I mean, not only do I love good build-up, but I also love sort of a sense of, how would you call it, like, tension? A sense of tension in the story that gets, you know, not only gets resolved, but also the tension that the characters remember also kind of fuels their support of each other in the future, you know.
You're dropping some frames here, bro.
Oh, really? I wonder what I can do about that. I guess I could close the...
Well, wait, let me ask chat if they're experiencing it, because if
oh yeah, it might just be you.
It might just be me. Chat, are you getting a slow stream?
Well, one thing I can do is turn off the Wi-Fi on my phone and see if that makes any difference.
Yeah. Yes, we are dropping frames. Thanks,
okay.
Dex.
How much are we dropping? Like a lot?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Oh, okay.
At least from my end.
Oh yeah, well actually the internet's been going a bit fucking weird recently. I'm gonna tab out real quick.
Okay.
Because we got nothing to lose if we're losing frames anyway, so...
Sure.
Tab out and check the dashboard.
Maybe it's spooky.
So it says output low. Not receiving. Oh, that was just now. Okay. Now it's just juddering a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna close.
It's bad now. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's bad because I tabbed out.
I know, yeah. Yeah, because, yeah, he had to step out away from the game for a second.
So every other time I've tabbed out, like in previous tests, it's like fucked it up. But that might have just been because we were trying to do like a way bigger bitrate than we should have. Yeah, so how's it looking now?
Move around or something? No, it's still bad.
Okay.
No!
Where's the next... I'm trying to find where the next save point is so I can just go there. Not that it really matters, I guess, but... yeah, I don't really know what I can do about that.
Anybody else using the internet? Is Louis using the internet?
He might be. Should I go check? Should I go check and tell him
No, it's fine.
to
no, don't bother him.
Well, I mean, he, you know, he only
Or
goes on.
text him, I guess.
I could send him a text, yeah.
Let's see. Okay, it's back to a few drops here and there. Yeah, well...
I'm gonna send him a text.
It's not great, but... I get like that spinny wheel sometimes of loading.
Yeah.
Only in the world of streaming we treat save points as phones in the Matrix. Clever. Clever. There can only be one. Anyway. Let's see. Well, you know, how long have we been going for though? Not almost an hour.
Yeah.
Almost an hour. I mean, maybe we can afford to have this be a shorter one, but
Yeah, we could do.
we could do. Try walking around now.
Yeah, I'll see if it improves. There's really not much that we're missing here, because the next boss is like at the very end of the section, so
For me, it's like hilarious to watch.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's better. Well, I just said that and now. Boop.
Yeah.
Well, any case.
All right. Well, I
So
asked.
what have you got going on? Oh, you did.
Yeah, I asked him and he didn't answer anything. So.
Oh, then maybe he's not. Maybe
Oh, I
it's
got
just
Maybe it's just our shitty internet.
a
Yeah.
weird thing. Thanks, Dex, for those updates. It actually helps because I can see the chat and Zoro cannot.
Yeah. I closed the tab. Although I guess I
So
could
I'm
check.
just-
I could
I'm
check
just
my-
relaying information. But yes, it's very helpful. Thank you very much.
Oh, there's a save point up there. Okay. I'm gonna, since again we have nothing to lose since we're already dropping frames, I'm gonna check what OBS says.
Let's think
Oh, it's at
about how we're doing
Okay.
this. Shall we?
It's at 4% drop frames. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck it's doing that. Anyway, the internet's going to shit. So yeah, so we're just gonna finish up here. But yeah, next time we can talk about,
Stay down.
Each character.
yeah, the characters and other complaints that people have about the game, because that's pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, yeah, if anybody's just tuned in recently, sorry about this. We'll be back again next week, obviously. But also, if you actually want to see the story because you haven't seen it before, go check out Final Fantasy Peasant. He's also playing this game like every day. Well, not every day. That's a massive exaggeration. Like
many days.
A few days a week, basically. And he's actually a little bit further than we are. So if you want to see the story, then you should go check that out. But yeah, we're just gonna get to the save point as fast as we can, so that we can...
Dex says he has platinums in this game.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Are you for real?
The wrong fight.
Yeah, I actually did that on 360. I got platinums for the entire trilogy, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the platinum for this game is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but overall it's, you know, it's far from impossible. I can't say I had fun doing the final trophy though. The last trophy you have to get is called Treasure Hunter, I think. And basically it's just you need to obtain one of every item in the game. And
that sounds so tedious.
Yeah. Although I will say that it's much better than fucking Final Fantasy X's platinum, because that shit involves a ridiculous amount of grinding. Yeah.
Is there a game, like New Game Plus after you finish?
Oh, this game? No, there isn't.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, although that's something that people kind of have been asking for in terms of like what's like something you'd want to see in a remaster of this game.
That's how it's done.
Some people not only like a hard mode, because this game doesn't have that.
I feel like we talked about that last time, didn't we?
Did we? I don't remember.
Yeah, because I feel like I totally answered this. Like, you asked me, and I was like...
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, actually, I do remember that.
Well, I don't remember what I said. Like,
yeah.
I was like, this sounds so familiar. Did I dream this?
Yeah, actually, we did talk about that, yeah.
What I would be interested in is seeing if we can figure out each character's zodiac sign based on their characteristics.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Or their personality type, that'd be cool too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that I feel is like a little bit more difficult.
That's harder, yeah. I assume the frames haven't improved?
They have.
Oh, they have. Is it running smooth or is it still dropped? Because the last time I checked it was 4% dropped.
It's okay, I think.
I can check actually, since again...
No, just walk around, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. I'll walk around. Is it like as smooth as when this stream started?
Yeah, it's pretty alright.
Oh, okay.
Looks fine.
I guess we could continue.
We could keep going. Maybe that was like a weird... I don't know.
Well, that it does happen sometimes because ever since fucking... I've noticed this ever since, the shitty... I can't even remember.
Ever since those millennials moved in.
Ever since the, what is that called? I can't even remember what it was called now.
What are you talking about?
The thing where we got fucked by Ajit Pai.
What?
We got fucked by Verizon and the FCC.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Ever since then, I've noticed that
net neutrality, yeah.
That's what it's called, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't
Thank
remember.
you, Dex. Also, he says beware Agent Smith, but
yeah.
I just read a theory that Agent Smith is the one, not Neo. Yeah. Any case, Matrix allusions aside.
Yeah. What was I saying just now?
Well,
I've noticed. Oh, what were you saying? Yeah.
I don't know. I just burped, so I forgot.
Okay. Yeah, ever since the whole net neutrality thing fucked up, I've noticed that we've gotten like considerable drops in our what's it called? In our internet, just like randomly. And also I feel like, because we started streaming after all that shit happened.
Right.
So, you know, I wouldn't really have noticed a difference before then. But, yeah, I've just noticed drops at random times, and also just in general, I feel like our internet's gotten a bit shittier. So...
I wonder if they throttle it at all.
They absolutely do. Like, I've noticed the effects. I can see that they do it. So we need to bitch at them. Because if nobody bitches and everybody just takes it, then they're not gonna stop.
Complacent.
Like that's literally what is gonna fuck us over, is complacency.
That is true.
Nothing I can't handle.
It's just like with anything else. It's like...
Yeah.
The people that don't have an opinion on something, or don't say anything, don't stand up for one side or another, they're letting the problem continue.
Yeah. And like, I understand that some people don't have the time or don't have the other resources necessary to complain about stuff. But, you know, a lot of us are capable, because all it takes is a fucking phone call.
There's different, like, no matter what socioeconomic level you are, there's a way to be an activist in some way for it.
Yeah.
So.
How are the frames looking?
They're fine.
Dex, if Dex is still here, how are the frames looking to you? Because last time I checked, it was 4%.
He did say it was okay. Yeah, he says they're fine.
Oh, okay, good. Nice. All right, well we can continue. Yeah. Let's see.
I was just thinking, as far as like zodiac signs for each of them, like Vanille is definitely like Aquarius.
Oh yeah, I don't really know about the zodiac signs.
She's bubbly, and like she can be friends with anyone.
Yeah, but anyway, if we're gonna go back to what we were just talking about, since we're not quitting yet, so basically, in short, a lot of the people who complain that the characters are, especially the people who complain that like the characters are one note, have not given the characters enough time to develop in the story. Either that, or you just decided at the start of the story that you didn't care whether they developed or not. So that, because you know that's on a psych level, that's definitely possible. You know, like where you just, you know, you start seeing something one way and then you can't change your view of it. Yeah. No matter what you see after that. So, yeah. It's either people didn't care or people didn't put enough time in it to see any difference at all. So, I mean, I would love to give people the benefit of the doubt and say that they, you know, that they played it and still didn't like the characters or whatever. But I just see too much evidence that people haven't played it, like, at all. So, yeah.
I wonder, what was the release date of 12?
12 was, I think, 2005 or something like that.
And then 13?
2009. It was something like that. I might be wrong about 12, so...
I'm just curious, like, if just because of its predecessor, people looked at it differently?
Well, that's definitely true. Not necessarily of 12, because 12 was also very frowned upon. Well, not very, I say. 13 was way more frowned upon when it came out. But 12 was also looked at in a sort of negative light.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, not as much as 13, but people still, you know, people still didn't express that they liked it.
Okay. Get your pony out.
Oh, I don't need to.
Oh.
It's fun.
so there's like loud music going on outside.
Oh, really? I can't hear that.
Yeah. Okay, good. I wasn't sure. Because today is actually a German holiday.
Is it?
So people are celebrating. Yes, it is Unity Day.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Unity Day when East Germany and West Germany became united
Oh, that's pretty cool.
after the war. But yeah, like people were celebrating like last night at midnight. Like the fireworks went off, and I was just like, "Fuck, get down!"
Yeah. How does Willow deal with the fireworks and stuff?
She's okay-ish because because I guess too it's like not as loud as when jets. So there's these jets that fly nearby because of the military base nearby, and they break the sound barrier.
Oh wow! Holy shit! How is that on you?
What?
How is that on you? Like how do you deal with fucking supersonic jets?
Well, if I'm inside, it's fine, but you do hear like boom boom.
Wow.
And there's like of it entering the like I don't know, it just I forget physics, okay, so don't sue me, but like because when you break the sound barrier there's two pops.
Yeah.
And so that's why you hear boom boom, and then when they get out of it you hear boom boom again.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, fuck, like are people like bombing us? Like no, it's just the jets. So Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. That's right, Dex.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That is what Unity Day is about. They still have a lot of the Berlin Wall up, but for like
Just for not decoration, but like
for like museum purposes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool though, because like a lot of people, there's like so much artwork on there.
Yeah.
It's really neat. Anyway, I'm glad you cannot hear the music.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, the fucking game audio's pretty loud in my ears.
Okay, good.
So that probably has something to do with it. But if the audience can also hear the what's it called, the game audio. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, I think.
Yeah, I had to turn that down.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't have to listen to the stream because
No, not really.
you would be hearing my voice and your voice twice. So
Right. Oh. So I didn't realize. Okay, so I had my nieces over one time. And it was like around that time that I just realized that saying the word "ope" is definitely a Midwest thing, and I didn't even realize that I was, first of all, saying it, and then second of all, realizing that it's not a common exclamation.
is it? Who told? Was it a Midwesterner that told you that, or somebody who's not from the Midwest?
No, it was a Midwesterner.
Oh, okay. Because that might be a case of something that like people say like, oh, this is something that we do, but actually it's something that fucking everybody does.
No, but the thing is that
I mean, I could see it though. Yeah.
other people were saying that too. Like when we lived in Virginia, I think it came up somehow, and I was just like, no, I just like, it's like saying oops or something. Well, I don't know. And I was like, every time I say it, I have to say it again because I'm like saying it for like irony. Oh.
Yeah.
Nope.
I guess so. Yeah. It seems like. I assume it's also a Canadian thing because I could definitely see Canadians
I
saying
could
it too.
definitely see that. But like apparently, so my nieces are from Wisconsin. They definitely say oak. I have another, like one of my best friends. She's from no, Kansas. She's from Minnesota. And she says oak a lot. And then I know somebody from Michigan that says oak. And then I'm with my husband, who's also from Illinois, and we both say oak, and we don't even realize it. And then it's just
Yeah.
apparently, I've been surrounded by people who say oak that I did not know that this was a weird thing.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I say it a lot. Usually,
say
usually say it when I like bump into somebody or something.
Yeah. Or like I drop something.
Yeah. But yeah, to talk about the characters again. Yeah, so like for another example of people, something that people complain about, so they complain that like lightning's a bitch and stuff like that. And like she is at the start of the game, obviously, but she's definitely not by even by the midway point. She's not an asshole anymore. So, and then on top of that is like even though these characters do have these qualities that I can see players finding annoying. There's a perfectly good reason for them to act the way that they do, because, and I guess it almost seems like people just want to conveniently ignore that, for some reason.
Yeah.
Because like everybody wants to not give a shit that like, basically their whole lives have been just taken away from them, like in the blink of an eye, and there was pretty much nothing they could do about it. It's just like,
But like,
whenever
how far into the game does this unfold to them, to the player?
it starts in chapter 5, so that would be about well, not chapter 5. It actually starts a little bit before chapter 5. It starts in like the middle of chapter 4.
Okay.
Or
so
or
it takes a long time for like any explanation as to why they're acting that way.
oh no, you can. I mean the development. You can understand why they act the way that they do as early as chapter 2, or not. Sorry, chapter 3.
Okay.
The start of chapter
Okay.
3. You can start to see
And,
why.
like, how many hours do you think it takes to get to chapter 3?
To get to the start of chapter 3 takes about 2 hours, somewhere around there, and then to get to the second half of chapter 4 takes about 4 to 4.5 hours. So it's about an hour for each chapter.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's like the thing is,
Like at what point do you think though you're asking too much of
yeah,
the
that's
player?
that's kind of the question, isn't it? Because like if you're not enjoying a game, then what's the point in continuing?
Sorry, did you get an interference?
Yeah, I just heard some like taking. I assumed it was you.
Yeah, I did too. No.
I
it's
don't know
not.
what that was. Yeah.
But I don't know if it was or not. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It gave me spooks. Ouch.
Yeah, but yeah, the question is like how long is too long? Because 2 hours is a decent investment into a game. 5 hours is kind of pushing it, isn't it?
Right. I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like, there's sort of a balance, isn't there, between like how much time would be considered fair. Because the thing is, this is approximately a 60-hour game. So if you don't play to chapter 6 or about the 6-hour mark, you haven't even played a tenth of the game.
Yeah, but the problem is that you want people to finish playing your game.
Yeah.
And if they're not feeling the committed within the first 2 hours or 3 hours, then they're gonna drop it.
Well, the thing is, yeah, the other thing about that is, I think this game is extremely interesting at the beginning. Like, first of all, for the first point, it starts in media res. So we're already in the action, like, kicking ass immediately.
But,
so,
I mean, like, yeah, it could have a lot of action and stuff, and it could be, like, all, like, Gundam Warriors with button mashing. But if there's, like, they need to have a reason behind why they're doing these things and why the characters are doing this or acting like this.
Yeah, and they do have reasons, and you can tell that each character has something to lose, and they mention it, but like you haven't spent enough time in the story to really be able to like wrap your head around their reasoning, because you just haven't spent enough time with the characters and with their story to be able to have a full understanding of why they did. Yeah, that was my phone. No, he said he's not using the computer. Well, it's a bit late there, but okay. Yeah, let me know if the frames drop again.
They're fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so the thing is, I think there's plenty of reason to play, you know, into the game. I guess something that I think kind of turns off first-time players is the fact that you don't have magic until Chapter 3, which is about an hour and a half or 2 hours into the game, depending on how fast you play, I guess.
Yeah.
So really, what it is, it's just attack, and some characters have an AoE attack, but that's it.
Melee.
So I guess some people don't like how it takes a while to get into the gameplay as well.
Sure.
But again, that... What?
That can be frustrating.
Yeah.
I feel like people have that, so, like, not to make an analogy for this game.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But this is just the trash person I am. It's more indicative of what I think is interesting. So, you know that game, Dream Daddy?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people didn't like it because it took freaking forever to get to a part where, like, you date someone or bang someone.
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly. I've seen the game. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's so much text. There's so much, like, banter that it doesn't make the game go anywhere, really. But it literally is just, like, the writers, like, having a cuck of a time. Just farting around and doing really elaborate
Nothing I can't handle.
text and stuff. It was just like, it was more fun for them than it is for the player.
Yeah, I can see why that is. My problem with Dream Daddy is that it's made by people who play video games all the time, and it's not all that exciting. Like, if I were playing a game by them, I would hope that it would be a lot more. Well, maybe it's just me, but I prefer games that have a lot of fighting going on. So that's probably just me, but I would say hearing that about people's complaints, I would say that's an unfair criticism, because I watched Hat Films play that game, and it only took about maybe 20 minutes or something to get to the part where you start dating people.
They skipped a lot.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I wouldn't. Alright, well, in that case, I wouldn't know. But, yeah, if it's like... I would say... If you get to do it in, like, half an hour, then I would say that's about where the limit is for a game like that, for like a what is essentially just a reading dating simulator. So, I mean, if you have seen like a proper uncut playthrough, or if you've played it yourself, how long does it take to get to the dating part?
Let's just say that, okay, so I watched a few people play like uncut.
Yeah.
It takes about like maybe a little bit over 2 hours.
Oh wow, yeah, that is a long time.
So yeah, and not only that, but like one group of people, it was actually the Jackbox people.
Yeah.
Jackbox Games people that were playing it.
Uh-huh.
And they had
including the one that we know?
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
And they ended up having to do a second day of streaming for the intro.
Wow.
Yeah. Because of how long it was taking.
Yeah, I guess for a dating sim like that, it's a bit slow, but at the same time, like, I kind of...
meet everybody, and
yeah, at the same time, I kind of understand why it takes so long, because, well, okay, maybe not exactly, but, like,
But let's just say everything could have been trimmed up a bit.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair criticism. But at the same time, the thing about dating sim games is kind of like, you're supposed to enjoy just the writing as well. So if you're not there, if you're not there to enjoy the writing, then you're really not there for a good reason, I would say, at least not comparatively. So you're kind of, it's a little bit on you, but if it takes 2 fucking hours, then like, that sounds like a long time to me.
Yeah, at that point, is it a joke from the creators that it's taking that long?
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Accidentally just get that long. That's what she said.
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, like, with this game, well, the thing is, with an RPG, you know you're going to be here for a long time. So there's that first and foremost.
Yeah, there's certain elements that you're expecting.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of that balance where it's like, I don't know where a good point would be. Where should the limit be? I don't know, but all I know is that, like, at least the way I feel about it, maybe it's just my preference for the game, but like, if you don't play 6 hours of the game, or 4.5 to 6 hours of the game, you haven't played 1/10 of the game, and I would say that's not fair, in terms of percentages, at the very least. In terms of time, it's like, I mean, I would say for a video game that it's fair. And I'm not saying, the thing is, I'm not saying that it takes this long to get good. I think it's good from the beginning. It's just like, it takes that long for you, in my opinion. What I really mean by that is, by the 4.5 to 6 hours thing, is, what I really mean is that that's how long it takes for you to have a good grasp of what this game has to offer. So what I mean is, like, if you're not enjoying it by then I would say you've given it a fair shot. And, you know, and if absolutely nothing interests you then I would say if you got to the 4.5 to 6 hour mark, then you've given it a good enough shot. Because that's where you get a good chunk of the gameplay, and the story as well, and you start to see some development. So, yeah, I would, and that's what I mean when I say 4.5 to 6 hours. I'd say that's a good stopping point if you are not enjoying things.
For sure, yeah.
I'm not saying it takes that long to get good. I'm just saying that that's how long it takes for you to get a decent grasp of everything the game has to offer. So.
Right. But I guess too, it's kind of like, well, how does this measure up as far as timing is concerned with the other Final Fantasies?
Yeah, well, that's another thing I've thought about. You know, is it fair to compare this to? Because a lot of the things I see when I first started playing the game, or first started seeing people's opinions of the game, was they were just comparing it to other games, and I was thinking to myself, like, is it really fair to just compare this game to others rather than, you know, appreciate it for what it does?
I think only in the sense that you know what to expect. So,
Yeah.
like, if you have played or seen other Final Fantasy games, and it takes X amount of hours to, or like X amount, or like fraction of the entire game for you to get invested.
Yeah.
You know, that is something worth thinking about, because it's kind of, you know, it's like, okay, so the analogy for me, it would be like getting invested in a Vine versus a YouTube video versus a TV show versus a movie.
Uh-huh.
You know, they each have their own respectable amounts in, like, tried and true measurements of how long it takes for somebody to get invested in it.
Yeah.
How long does it take for somebody to understand what's going on and want to know more? So for a movie, that's definitely going to take a much longer time than it would for a television show series.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, percent-wise, I don't know how you would measure that, but you definitely wouldn't expect a movie to give you everything that you need for investment to finish it in the same amount of time that a TV show would, or a YouTube video would, or a Vine would.
Yeah.
You know, unless that movie starts with a Vine, then I'm sold. You know, like,
Yeah.
then that's Inception. But I think, you know, you can go broader, and you can say, well, okay, well, JRPGs typically take this amount of time out of this amount of, like total amount of time to get invested.
Yeah.
Or to, like, lay out everything for you to kind of understand. But then you could go further and you could say, okay, well, of the JRPG genre, then Final Fantasies, how long does each Final Fantasy game take out of its entirety to engage the audience, engage the player to continue playing?
Yeah.
So I think it is worth people considering for that
Yeah.
aspect.
I guess in terms of like how long it took you to start having fun or something like that, you know, or how long it took you to start enjoying yourself playing the game. I would say that's a decent argument, but there's, in my opinion, there's a lot of issues with the core argument, which is like how or like the basic version of the argument, which is how much do you enjoy the game compared to other Final Fantasies, or how good is it compared to other Final Fantasies. Yeah, I know that's not what you were getting at, but the other argument, which was like, how does it compare in terms of everything to other Final Fantasies, like just comparing them in terms of like which has a better story, which has better gameplay and stuff. The thing is, like, this game, the point, well, not the point, but like the sub-series that this game is a part of, which is Fabula Nova Crystallis, which started with this game. The whole point is that it wanted to really shake things up in the story, in terms of how the story was told, or the type of story that was told, compared to previous games in the series. And then on top of that, like, ever since, like, I don't know, Final Fantasy I guess you could say 4. Well, you could even go earlier than that. But, like, there's so many differences in every Final Fantasy game. Like, in terms of, you know, gameplay and story and thematics and everything.
Sure.
That, like, it's really hard to compare them anyway, because, you know, there's so many differences between all of them. I don't know. It's a really hard question to answer, because I feel like for most people it just ends up being how rose-tinted are your glasses, and that's about all there is to the argument of anybody's side. So I find that it often devolves into that argument. And then there's also, like, obviously tons of people are going to enjoy FF7 because, you know, it was a lot of people's first video game. It was a lot of people's first 3D game. It was a lot of people's first RPG. You know, stuff like that. So there's a lot of room for bias in questions like this. So that's why, at least when I first started reading people's opinions of FF13, my first thought was, well, people are just spending all their time comparing it to FF7 and FF10 and FF9, and, like, those are, like, people's favorites in the series.
Sure.
So I was just thinking, I don't think you should be comparing it, because, like, the whole point of this game, in terms of story and also in terms of gameplay, was to change things up. So, like, of course it's going to be different. So really what it comes down to is, a lot of it is just preference. Do you like active time battle? Do you like a story with, like, a really intense story? Do you like more linear gameplay with less distractions and shit? So that's how it boils down to me, at least. Or that's how I see it.
Like, if it's a psychological mishap to call all of these Final Fantasy. You know,
yeah, that's another thing.
It's kind of like, well, what if it was just the company putting out different games?
Yeah, what if they called them all different things? Yeah. I don't know if that would really save them from anything, but...
No, but I feel that there would be less comparison, too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, there would be less comparison.
Like, it's naturally going to be like, oh, well, I like this brother more than this other brother, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but... You know, it's kind of... Like, they're only related in name.
In name, yeah.
And... also, too, like, they don't have really identifying titles, either.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, it's just, like, going by, like, Smith, and Smith.
Yeah.
Well, okay, which one of this, like, law firm, apparently, do you, like, which lawyer do you want?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of matters who you would like to have. You can't just, like, they're all the same. Well, no. But, like, there needs to be something, like, at least, like, the 2 versions of some of these things, like, well, Final Fantasy II, and then there's Lightning Returns, that's, like, separate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, at least that has its own name.
Yeah, and in my opinion, fucking 10-2 and 13-2 are stupid names.
Yeah. I agree.
But I think, like, the After Years or Revenant
but,
Wings...
Like, what else are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna call it, like, 10.5, 13.5.
That's what they do with fucking Kingdom Hearts, and that shit makes no sense to me either, so... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but in my opinion, I've sort of gotten to the
Which
point
that
where
could have been alleviated if this title had its own.
yeah, that's true. But you could say that about you could say that about other games as well, because a lot of other games also got a lot of shit when they came out, and still, you know, you got games like, well, people didn't like FF8 a lot because, well, for a few reasons, but one of them is definitely because it came right after 7.
Because you know what comes after 7.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, so a lot of people don't like, for example, 2, because it changed things up a lot. Well, not, okay, they didn't dislike it because it changed things up, but they, there's, I would say there are legitimate reasons to, disliking some of the games. And I'm not saying the people who dislike this game are incorrect or anything. It's just that, you know, I feel like it's kind of a bad practice to compare it to other games when the whole point of this game was to be different from the other ones.
Right. Well.
Among others, like 15 is the same way. Well, you know, it's not the same exactly, but it's very similar.
It suffers from similar things.
Yeah, or also in the fact that it's the first mainline Final Fantasy game that's completely action, and instead of turn-based or ATB as we should be calling it. So yeah, there's that part of it too. So I don't know. I guess really what you should do is just digest it as you obtain it. I think that's just the easiest way to deal with these sorts of things. And I think that's like the best for taking in the game just in general.
Yeah. Or anything else.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, we're at a good save point, right?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna continue to the next section so that we can start the save or start the next session from there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah. Yeah. Everybody calls that boss that we just fought Bulbasaur, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I could see that. It's kind of a good joke.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, Steve.
This should be it right here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, achievement. Yeah, so there we go. So yeah, that was good.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, obviously, with Saz and Vanille, and we're now in the Sunleth Waterscape. So this is the section that Pez finished last time that he played, which was yesterday. So yeah,
Cool.
this
Looks
is
like fun.
yeah, this is a good area. I love the music as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Alright, everyone. Yeah, thanks for tuning in for today. Next time it will be Wednesday at, what time is it for you?
For me, it's 3 p.m., which is U.S. Central Time. So.
Central Time. Cool.
So yeah.
That's probably the best time for other people to use.
Yeah, and sorry about the drop frames. I'm glad they went away at least.
Happened.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I just assume it's the FCC fucking us over. So yeah, hopefully it's better next time. But yeah, that's pretty much it from us. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.